Imagine waking up on a normal summer morning, children going to school, people riding bicycles, shops opening for business. August 6th, 1945, 8:15 in the morning, an atomic bomb called Little Boy exploded and then in less than 1 second, an entire city disappears. This was Hiroshima. Around 140,000 people would lose their lives by the end of that year. But numbers alone cannot tell this story. To truly understand Hiroshima, you have to walk through it, and that's exactly what we're going to do today. And so our journey begins. Right now, I am heading towards Yokogawa station. From here, we'll take Hiroshima's famous streetcar, known as the Hiroden, to Genbaku Dome, my station. At first, it may look like just another tram, but Hiroshima's streetcars carry something much deeper than passengers. They carry history. Just 3 days after the atomic bombing, while the city was still covered in ashes, some Hiroden streetcars started running again. For many survivors, seeing a streetcar moving through the destroyed city became a symbol of hope, a sign that Hiroshima was still alive. And even today, Hiroshima continues to preserve some of these historic streetcars. As you can see, some of the older trams are still running alongside the newest modern models. It's almost like traveling through time. On one side, you have Hiroshima's past, on the other, its future. And honestly, there is no better way to begin this journey than by riding a hero then through the streets of Hiroshima. So let's get on board and head to one of the most important places in human history, the atomic bomb dome. This building behind the trees is one of the most powerful places in Japan. Today, it is known as the atomic bomb dome, or in Japanese, Genbaku Dome. We've seen this place in photographs countless times, but standing here in person feels completely different. In the middle of a modern city filled with life, this building quietly stands, frozen in time. Before the war, this was known as the Hiroshima Prefectural Industrial Promotion Hall. Today, it has become one of the world's most important symbols of peace. What makes this place so powerful is not just the structure itself, it's what it represents. For decades, people from all around the world have come here to reflect, to remember, and to hope that such a tragedy never happens again. Looking around, it's hard to imagine that the vibrant city surrounding us today was once completely devastated. Yet Hiroshima chose not to erase this building. Instead, it preserved it not as a tourist attraction, but as a witness to history and as a warning of what war can do, and as a message to future generations, a message that peace is precious and that history should never be forgotten. As we walk towards the Hiroshima Peace Memorial Museum, I already know this won't be an easy visit because inside this museum, you don't just learn about history, you meet the people who lived through it. Many museums display objects, but this museum tells human stories. Stories of ordinary people whose lives changed forever. And some of those stories are almost impossible to forget. When the bomb exploded, a massive heat ray reaching several thousand degrees Celsius swept across Hiroshima. This photograph shows the devastating effects of the atomic bomb on the human body. Many survivors describe their skin peeling from their bodies. Some held their arms out in front of them because even touching their own skin caused unbearable pain. Thousands wandered through the devastated city in search of water. Many never returned. Looking at this image today, it's difficult to imagine the suffering endured by those who survived, but this photograph reminds us that behind every historical event, there were real people, people with dreams, families, and lives that were changed forever. This soldier survived the initial explosion, but days later, dark purple spots began appearing across the body. At first, nobody understood what they were. People called them the spots of death. Today, we know they were caused by radiation exposure. For many survivors, the nightmare did not end on August 6th. It had only just begun. These are Aiko and Toru Ikemoto. At first, they appeared unharmed, but soon their hair began falling out. Toru passed away at just 11 years old. Aiko later died at the age of 29. For these siblings, the tragedy did not end on that day. This small tricycle belonged to Shinichi Tetsutani, who was just 3 years old. After the bombing, his father buried Shinichi together with his beloved tricycle in the backyard. 40 years later, when it was unearthed, Shinichi's skull was still found inside the helmet. A child's toy had become a father's memory. The boy in this footage is 3-year-old Hideo Takimoto. When the atomic bomb destroyed their home, Hideo was trapped beneath the rubble. But his 11-year-old brother Sadao never stopped searching. Somehow, he found his little brother alive and carried him to safety. Even in humanity's darkest moment, the love between two brothers endured. After walking through this museum, you leave with many emotions: sadness, shock, gratitude, and perhaps one important question: how do we make sure this never happens again? Because history should never repeat itself. Modern Hiroshima is beautiful. A city once destroyed now stands as a symbol of peace, and perhaps that is Hiroshima's greatest message. Even after unimaginable destruction, hope can return. But peace must never be taken for granted, because Hiroshima is not just a story of tragedy, it is a story of resilience, hope, and peace. Before ending this journey, let's take a quick look at the total cost, including accommodation, transportation, sightseeing, and the journey back to Shin-Yokohama. The entire trip cost came to approximately 19,748 yen per person. And honestly, every yen was worth it. Hiroshima is not just a place to visit, it's a place to remember. If you ever visit Japan, I highly recommend adding Hiroshima to your itinerary. Next, we'll be visiting Kamakura. So make sure to join us in the next episode. Until then, take care, and I'll see you in the next adventure.